Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Mark again here at WeatherMan Plus. Now, I'm showing that we have a chance for a Tornadogenesis Friday evening. I'll explain what that is. It will be very close to whether we get a cap or not on these thunderstorms. I'll explain that as well as we have a big fire risk that's going on, and it will be elevated for tomorrow. Now, I know people tell you to hit the like button, hit the share button. You know how the algorithm works in YouTube. And people, I really want to reach everybody in the upper Midwest. Let them be aware of this. It's not just a major snowstorm coming their way. There's a lot of damage and winds, and there is a chance for tornadogenesis. So please, if you can watch the video, because watch time is so important. If you can't share, hit the like button, watch the video, watch it twice, do everything you can to support this video. We need to get this out to as many people as possible. Prepared is the best way to handle any kind of severe weather. Thank you so much for helping out. God bless every single one of you. Remember, the links are in the description to help save you time if you come for just certain parts of the video. And if you can watch the whole video and do all three, you are literally a superhero helping save lives. So thank you for your support. And everyone that is in this pink area right here on this alert map, you are in a risk for this fire hazard. And this fire problem is going to grow for tomorrow as well. For today, you have an elevated risk in this orange, and you have a critical risk in this red. And your cities at risk is Lubbock, Texas, Amarillo, Texas, Clovis, New Mexico, Plainview, Texas, and Pampa, Texas. Now for tomorrow, these winds are really going to move in and make this into an extreme condition for fire hazards. And your extreme condition for tomorrow, for Friday, is Albuquerque, New Mexico, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, Parker, Colorado, and South Valley, New Mexico, as well as your critical risk down here on the bottom as well for Friday. Now this is really going to be for New Mexico as well as for Texas, and you can see how it's all single digits for humidity. Very dry air coming with this warm temperatures as well as this wind. Now the wind's really going to pick up for tomorrow. As tomorrow kicks in, look at the humidity that you have everywhere, all the way from New Mexico, Texas, northern Mexico, all the way up towards Nebraska. Single digits for everyone here. And this is going to be your main fire risk. Now, as you go through today on your winds, it really picks up to about 20-something miles per hour wind gusts as it comes through with those low humidity levels. That's why you have that fire risk. But for tomorrow, the winds are really going to pick up, very strong winds. And as you go into the afternoon, you get 40, 50, even 60 that carries across. It is going to be some very strong winds coming with some very warm temperatures, low humidity, big fire risk, especially for tomorrow. Not to mention the damage and wind gust that is coming with this. Damage and winds is just as dangerous as tornadoes or severe weather that you get, and it does peak up as you go into the afternoon with high 60s. Now there is a chance for a cap. A cap is when your temperatures up air aloft is warmer than your temperatures at lower levels. And that will stop thunderstorms from growing and producing. You need it to be cooler than the air up below. That way you can get the buoyancy, you can get the lift. These thunderstorms can grow out through the tops. When it grows, it could be tornadic at times. Now I do show there is a chance for tornadogenesis as well. As you look for your fire risk, you'll see with your precipitable water that all the areas that's in this fire risk is not getting precipitation at all. And then for tomorrow, it's really going to move in and you're not getting that precipitable water that you need. It will be very dry, it will be very warm, and it will start getting very windy. That's why you have your fire risk. And all the way to early Saturday morning, when you look at your precipitation amounts, everybody that's in this fire risk is getting zero precipitation. Big fire risk. Please be careful. Now let's get into the severe weather aspect of what's going on with this system. For today, you have thunderstorms and all of this green, but you do have a tornado chance still, same as yesterday. You have this 2% in the green, 5% in the brown, chance for winds, but you still have the chance for large hail, especially in this black section. A big chance for very large hail. That's why you see all them lightning strikes, and that's where you got your chances for your large hail. So your chances for significant severe risk for large hail for today is Wichita, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, Salina, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, and Hutchinson, Kansas, as well as your 15% risk in the yellow and your 5% risk in the brown. Your tornado threat for today. Your biggest threat is your 5%, and this is going to grow for tomorrow. Your 5% is Hutchinson, Kansas, Great Bend, Kansas, and your 2% is this green section here below. Now for tomorrow, you're going to have thunderstorms in all of this green section. Your tornado chance is only showing a 2% chance so far. I think it will be upgraded unless we reach this cap. I'm showing it's very close, just a few degrees, guys. So far, it's a big 2% all the way from Texas all the way to South Dakota. This is where that dry line is going to meet up with this system, and this is where things are going to start kicking off. You also have chances for damaging winds for tomorrow. Big 30% chance all the way from northern Texas all the way to southern South Dakota. Big 30% chance, high winds, as well as your hail threat. You have a large hail threat for 30% for South Dakota and a big 15%. This is for tomorrow. Now, so far, your tornado threat for tomorrow is Amarillo, Texas, Grand Island, Nebraska, Kearney, Nebraska, Garden City, Kansas, and Dodge City, Kansas. Now, if we reach our cap, which I will explain, this will not change. But if National Weather Service does see that we are going to bust through this cap and these thunderstorms are going to grow, we will have tornadogenesis, guys. Now, high winds and directional shear does create strong helicity values. And strong helicity values is where you're going to get that tornadogenesis. That's where it helps it wind up real tight. You get a lot of vertical lift and a lot of severe thunderstorms that can turn into some violent tornadoes. And this is going to grow into Saturday as well. And you do have severe weather risk for Saturday. Mostly it's going to be high winds, some chances for some hail. I don't see a big chance for tornadoes for Saturday. But you do have a 15% chance for severe weather and a big 5% chance in this brown. There will be a lot of lightning, a lot of thunderstorms. And your severe weather risk for Saturday is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Wichita, Kansas, as well as your 5% in the brown. This is for Saturday. Now for today, your temperatures are going to raise way up. You're going to have some very warm temperatures. And as you go to tomorrow, this is going to lift even further up in the country. Now this big warm temperatures is going to help with your buoyancy with your lift. Now if it is warmer on the ground than it is up aloft at the lower level jet, you will get buoyancy, you will get lift, and it will bust through the cap and have severe thunderstorms, even the tornadogenesis. But if it is cooler on the ground level than it is up aloft, that's where you get your cap. And that's where thunderstorms cannot grow past that cap, and the severe weather can only get so strong. And so far, it's very close. Once you get in the afternoon, all the way up to 7 p.m., you get all the way up to high 80s, 88, 89 degrees, even a little bit stronger. Then that cold front comes down, smashes these temperatures, and that's where you still have your severe weather. You do have high 60 dew points raising up for today all the way to tonight. And all you need is 55 dew points to start producing thunderstorms. But once you get into these 60s, then you have a chance for highly severe weather. And once you get into tomorrow, these 60s raise way up and you get into the high 60s. And the amount of wind shear that's going to be with these winds and the turning of this flow is what's going to create your helicity values. And when these helicity values get really strong, then you're going to have your chances for your tornadogenesis, guys. And these dew points raise all the way up by 6 p.m. and you actually get 70 dew points as this system raises up. For today, you do get some wind shear. It's not super strong, but you do get some strong shear. And as you go into tomorrow, it gets a little pocket of some strong shear as well. But as you go into tomorrow evening, once it gets to these strong temperatures going up aloft, I'll show you, you get a lot of buoyancy, you get a lot of lift, but these winds kick in. And once you get into 6 and 7 p.m., it gets very strong. Matter of fact, your wind shear is extreme by this point, all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning. Now these winds pulling up, going around this high pressure coming from the south to the north, and these winds coming from the west to the east from this storm moving in is what's going to give you this wind shear, which is wind direction change with height, and it's going to give you a chance to get rotation on these thunderstorms. And the reason why I always show you multiple models, because different models have different data in them so you can see what the outcome is. Now these models can never tell you what is going to happen, they can only tell you what can happen. And when you look at your helicity tracks for the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh, it is showing all the way to Thursday night, all the way till Friday morning. You could have some long-lived cells for Missouri, northern Arkansas, not too serious. But right here for Nebraska and Iowa, you're starting getting some long-lived cells overnight and into the early morning hours. But as you go into Friday evening, you can see right when you get to 6 and 7 o'clock, right by 8 o'clock, you still have these temperatures rising that I showed you, and you start getting some long-lived cells for South Dakota, and it starts getting extreme, really strong supercell, really strong tornado chance right there for your tornadogenesis to go through South Dakota and go through North Dakota while you're getting the snowstorm on the wraparound and flooding rain on northern Minnesota and North Dakota as well. You can only see so far with HRRR, but when you look at the NAM and go on, you can see that this wind shear does build up all the way by 1 and 2 a.m. Matter of fact, NAM that sees a little bit further shows that it could strengthen up even more, especially for Iowa, Kansas, and portions of Nebraska. Very strong wind shear, and it shows that it could stay strong with the shear all the way until Saturday. Early morning, maybe even by noontime. Now, this is going to be a lot of damaging winds as well, but this shear right here is what's going to rotate these storms and give you the chance for these tornadoes. And this is what I mean by different outcomes by different data. Now, so far, the NAM 3K shows that you could get a long-lived cell this afternoon for northern Texas and going into Oklahoma. A very strong cell. That would be your chances for tornadoes. But as you go into tomorrow, you can see how sporadic storms racing through Iowa, which you do have heavy rainfall coming in Iowa. But as you go through the evening, then that cold front smashes down with these winds, and then you get chances for long-lived cells all down Texas, Kansas, Nebraska. And as you go later in the evening, this is when it really soups up, and you could have a very violent, very long-lived tornado all the way from South Dakota all the way towards North Dakota. It winds down, but look at all the busting of all these long-lived cells that could happen Friday evening all the way into the early morning hours. And this right here could be where your tornadogenesis occurs Friday evening, as well as long-lived cells for Nebraska as well and northwestern Kansas. Now, as this storm raises up, these temperatures go way up in the atmosphere, and it is a little bit different in the temperatures, and hopefully it does not bust a cap, guys. I really hope it does not. Everybody that knows me knows I'm the first one to downgrade any of these severe storms, but this looks like it really has a chance. And once you hit 6 and 7 p.m., you start getting some long-lived cells. It's according to the NAM 3K so far, and this is for Kansas, Nebraska. But once you get into 8 p.m., and you really get that tightening of that vortice for the system, and your helicity values really raise up, South Dakota, it looks like you could get a long-lived, very severe, violent tornado. Just be aware. Friday evening, so far, looks very scary. As well as afterwards, is going to bring more long-lived cells as this cold front pushes more to the east and just create a lot of chances for tornadoes, especially this one here. And it is very close to busting the cap. Now, if you look at your 850 millibars, your lower level jet, you can see in your temperatures, now this is Celsius, that by 5, 6, and 7 p.m., you get very warm temperatures up aloft. Now, this is 30 degrees Celsius. That's about 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. And then these very warm temperatures, very cold temperatures up aloft at the lower level jet, they do clash, and it is going to create your severe weather that you have in the upper Midwest. The temperatures on the ground level at that time gets all the way up to 88 and 89 degrees. Very close. It's going to be 82 to 84 degrees maybe at the lower level jet, 88 to 89 degrees on the ground level. So that's warm air below, colder air above. It's not warmer air above, so it is going to bust a cap if these temperatures stay what they're looking like so far in this model data. If the temperatures will reverse to where it's 82 degrees on the ground level and 89 degrees at the lower level jet, that will create your cap. It's too much warm air aloft, and it won't let these thunderstorms breathe or produce too much severe weather. That's why there's only a 2% right now, because this cap is very close. But I tell you, 5 to 7 degrees, that's a big difference. And so far, it's showing that it could bust that cap and have some severe weather all evening long. You still have high 70-degree temperatures, and it just comes all night long to the early morning hours. Then it raises back up for Saturday. You get into the 70s again, and that's why you have your severe weather risk for Saturday. And when you look at the HRRR, you can see these temperatures at the lower level of the jet as well. They're going up to 30 degrees. So it's still right close to that cap, close to either have very much tornadogenesis or have a cap and you don't have anything. Now, with all these warm temperatures, with all this buoyancy in the lift, Thursday you do get some very strong cape, some very strong lift to have that chance for those tornadoes. But as you go through Friday, that lift gets even stronger as you go through Friday evening. Then you get a very strong section as all this is turning into this storm, help creating this vertical lift. And the amount of turning in this flow is what creates your high values and your helicity. And it goes all the way up from Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa. You get all the way up to 4,300 joules. Very strong lift, very good buoyancy to have strong tornadoes. And you have a lot of wind shear at that time. You do have precipitation passing through, and it is turning. Matter of fact, I'm showing this storm is strengthening up down to a 984. And that lift stays there all evening long. Even by midnight, you still have strong lift to still have chances for tornadoes. Not showing as bad as from 5 to 8 p.m. at night. Well, I tell you, 5 and 6 really looks like it's strongest. That's when it's really going to be turning into this storm, helping it wind up and strengthen up. And that's when your helicity really strengthens up. You're getting all this shear because all these winds that are coming with this storm. You have a lot of winds coming from the south to the north, but these winds are coming from the west to the east. And that's giving you a wind direction change with height. And you even get chances for almost 70 miles per hour wind gust as that congeals together. You can see when you look at your helicity values that it's not super strong. But once you get into the evening, then it raises way up with your helicity. Very strong helicity tracks. That means this storm is strengthening. The low pressure is dropping. And that's where you have your chances for your tornadogenesis. This shows that this storm is strengthening as it goes to the upper Midwest, as it goes through the evening. You can see your shear with your millibar pressures as it strengthens up towards 9 p.m. The storm strengthens all the way down to a 984. Then after that, you get a lot of shear with the winds, but the storm starts weakening down for that, back to 988. So there is a moment where it does tighten up, it does strengthen up, and that's where you have your chances for the tornadogenesis. We're not talking about any regular tornado. We're talking about a very violent, a very large tornado. So when you go through the ensembles and see what the strength of this storm is, you can see a lot of these show a very strong storm, especially this one right here. Gets down to a 960, a 970 as it goes through. But if you look right here, this is your controlled member. It shows it goes from a 991 down to a 981, and that is very fast. That is within a 6-hour period. Not even a 984, a 981. Then it starts weakening down. It's still strong, 984. This 6-hour period, Friday evening, where it drops 10 millibars in pressure, literally in 6 hours. That's where you're going to have your problem. And the NAMC is the same thing. As you come in with your winds for Thursday into Friday evening, you're getting strong winds, creating that extreme fire risk. But as it goes into late Friday evening, then you have these very strong winds coming in right below this system, and then it strengthens all the way up into the high 60s as well. HRRR show it could be almost 70 at that point. And then as you go into Saturday, you have your severe weather risk of damage and winds as well. And there is going to be still the flash flooding. For today, you have the marginal in this green. For tomorrow is going to grow. You have this marginal for flash flooding here, as well as right here for Iowa, northern Illinois, and northwestern Indiana. Then as you go through day 3, this is for Saturday going into Sunday. You have that marginal for flash flooding, and it's going to grow as you go Sunday into Monday for even more of a slight risk for flash flooding. The National Weather Service put this out for your snowfall. For those that's getting snowfall, your probability for 8 inches plus of snowfall from Friday at 6 a.m. till Sunday at 6 a.m. And here's your chart right here. Definitely getting 8 inches in this red. In this orange, you have a 70 to a 90% chance of getting 8 inches plus of snowfall. Then it drops dramatically. All this yellow is 50 to 70%. So just be aware, not only the heavy snowfall rates, with these damaging winds and that chances for that tornadogenesis, but you also could get a chances for power outages as well. And New York is still 51,000 without power. Pennsylvania, 14,000 without power. So they're still affected. They're going to get to you. It is taking a while. This has gone down, but you still have a lot of power outages in New York. And so far from National Weather Service, this is your snowfall rates. Eastern Montana, northeastern Wyoming, western North Dakota. That is your hot spot for the major snowfall, where you can get up to 12 to 16 inches of snowfall. Plus, all the blue is still 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. And whoever's not going to be getting this snowfall, you will be getting heavy rainfall. So just be aware for flash flooding for eastern North Dakota and western northern Minnesota, as well as for Iowa going into northern Illinois. Very heavy rainfall amounts. And it's showing Iowa could get all the way up towards 3 and 4 inches of rainfall. So just be aware for some flash flooding in Iowa. I really hope I explained this to where you understand what's going on with these thunderstorms and what could potentially happen. Now I say potentially because I'm hoping, just like I hope that all of you are hoping, that the temperatures do change and we do get a cap. And what that would do, it would be suppressing these thunderstorms where it would only be so strong, the cloud tops can only reach so high, and it would not be a growing threat as what I see this morning. So God bless all of you. I pray, honestly, that we get a cap. So prepare the best way you can. Share this information if you think it is important and you need to share it to others. Thank you so much for your support. I'm sure the people that has these problems, if these problems do occur, will thank you as well for letting them know what's going on. God bless you all. Now today, I want to read the third epistle of John. The elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of the charity before the church, whom if thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, thou shalt do well. Because that for his name's sake they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles. We therefore ought to receive such, that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the preeminence among them, receiveth us not. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words, and not content therewith. Neither doeth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church. Beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good. He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil hath not seen God. Demetrius hath good report of all men, and of the truth itself. Yes, and we also bear record, and ye know that our record is true. I had many things to write, but I will not with ink and pen write unto thee. But I trust I shall shortly see thee, and we shall speak face to face. Peace be to thee. Our friends salute thee. Greet the friends by name. Amen. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Thank you so much for helping get this word out to all of you that have helped. God bless you. God keep you restored. It's starting to look a little scary for Friday, guys. I'll know more tomorrow morning when we get high resolution rapid refresh for the 18 hours. That is the most accurate information we can get out of this model data. But once again, it don't tell us what's going to happen. It can tell us only what could happen. So far, all the data is showing that this could be a tornadogenesis. It also could be a cap. It is a very thin line. Just be aware of it. In all power, all glory, all honor, always goes to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a very, very pleasant Thursday.